Hi, everybody. Welcome to Queers and Soaps. I'm Tommy, and today I'm joined by Eric.
Hello.
We're back for some more Days of Our Lives in 1984. We're in, I guess, technically the last week of February sweeps. So we'll be talking about February 27th to March 1st, 1984. I'll roll the credits and we'll get right into it. Okay, so Dana Kimmel is still playing Diane. I didn't remember her being on this much.
Yeah,
So I went
I
to,
like her.
Jason 47. He's got like all this information on Days of Our Lives, that website.
I think so.
So I always have like a tab on my phone with his website open because I'm always like looking shit up on the show. So I went to 84 to see like how long she's on, and she's only in 6 episodes. I feel like we watched one last time and she was in like 3 of these, so she's probably got like 1 or 2 more episodes, maybe 3.
Yeah, shame. I like her. I wonder how the other one's going to be.
The blonde that I know is in 50, but I feel like she was in longer, so maybe she was only on once a week.
Okay. Yeah, maybe. Or twice a week. It would last a while.
So I was like rolling my eyes and like audibly being like, ugh, during Hope's whole argument with Diane. That Bo has moved on and she's living with him and they're together. I just felt like Hope sounded so pathetic.
She did.
I was just like,
But she, again, she's 18. That's how you'd be, like if that's what you thought.
I know, but Diane was just so like cool and like calm, and she's just like screaming at her, and I'm just like, God, I was like, you're embarrassing. I'm embarrassed for her.
I know.
She was
I like when
he loves me, and she's like, no.
I like when Bo came back and she's like, Diane was like, I thought she would leave. She just stayed here waiting around. She was like, I'm trying to control myself, but I just didn't stop. It was funny.
Yes, I had texted Matt. I was like, I don't remember Diane being a bitch like this, but it seems like it was all like a game. Like it wasn't a game.
Yeah.
She was faking it just to get her.
Well, that's what. Right. She was like,
I had having to do that to her. Like,
I know, waited around, and she didn't think she would. Makes sense. It was funny.
I actually really like Dana on this, and I'm kind of sad she's leaving.
Yeah, I liked it too.
I wouldn't.
She did feel bad,
honestly, if it didn't say the role of Diane is now played by Dana Kimmel. I wouldn't have clicked put it together.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, Hope eventually leaves. She storms out in a huff.
Well, it's after Bo gets back, right?
What?
Because after Bo gets back,
yeah, and
she waits for Bo.
Yeah, he kind of confirms that he's with Diane or that they're over or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So honestly, some of my favorite scenes this week were Doug and Julie.
Really?
Yeah. So first of all, Julie, a lot younger, obviously. She's like, she had a little skin showing. I was like, okay, Julie, look at you showing your arms.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I always like watching them, but I feel like there's really not much. It almost feels like they're leaving soon, like you said.
Well, Doug
like
is
they're
getting
getting
involved in a lot of things for them to be leaving in 2 weeks. He wants to.
Yeah, but he's
signing up for committees.
She's like, vacation cruise. This is where they go on a 6-year cruise, right?
When he cruises over the next 15 years.
They cruise all through the 90s. They're always on a cruise, and then they come back for Christmas or whatever.
It's funny. I guess in the 90s, Julie went blonde. Susan went blonde. So, like, the first time I saw her brunette, I was like, "Oh, what is this?" Even her brunette, but I only knew her as blonde.
Right.
And I read that she went to Sunset Beach, and she played Lauren.
Oh, she did.
She played Lauren Fenmore's mother on YNR.
Yes, I seen her on that.
So that's cool.
I like her on there.
2 other soaps.
Yeah, I did not know she went on Sunset Beach though. I had no idea. That's kind of cool.
It might be a quickie role. Like, I just saw Jack Wagner, and I hear he's only in like 2 episodes.
Right. I do remember they had a lot of different random guest soap appearances.
Yeah. Um, I was laughing at her conversations with Marie about Doug, and
Yeah,
she
me
kept
too.
she was like he's always hanging out with that humdinger woman.
I felt kind of a certain way. The way even Alice talked about her. She's like, you know what she does? You know where her money came from, right? I was like, Alice.
Isn't Doug like helping her with her taxes?
Yeah. I'm like,
Does
this is
she
not the
not have to
Alice
do
we know
that
and love,
in order to pay those taxes?
right? But Alice is supposed to be the one, like, like that cares. Like, I always thought she was, like, even nice to hookers, but I guess not.
Nice to hookers.
Where she came,
Her,
you know where that
her
money came
bloodline
from for the
doesn't do
husband.
hookers.
Right. Alice don't do hookers.
I
Mm-mm.
like that when she was talking to him about the taxes, Julie was talking to Doug about the taxes, how she was like, she's a madam. She sleeps with men. Like, she's been with a new guy every 20 minutes. He's like, not anymore. She's retired. And he's retired since when? He's like 20 minutes ago. No, he says
Neil,
guy.
Is she a madam? Because like she talked about Diane, like she has like she's like, oh, I saved her from her pimp or something.
I always assumed she was a madam because I feel like the way she speaks, she's like, "Oh, my girls, like I got a girl for you." Like she like runs these girls like through the streets.
And I guess she's not like I guess she's nicer than a pimp. I don't know. I don't know the stages of
Maybe every
her.
once in a while she does it herself. I don't know.
You need a few bucks.
If none of the girls are available, she like takes one for the team.
Right. And she's loving Doug.
Yeah, and
Julie better
when
watch out.
Julie finds out that she's retired, she's like, "Oh."
Hmm.
She's like, "Well, who's left for her to like, to find true love with?" And she was like, and she goes, "I know," and it's spelled Doug. So yeah,
She loves her Dougie.
um, no Liz.
No,
I would
no
like to see
Neil.
Liz. Honestly, Neil not so much, but Liz I would like to see.
Yeah,
Um, no Don,
very back burner, I guess.
no Don. No Maggie.
Yeah, no Don.
So how did you feel
No
about
fake
Pete? I
Don.
feel like he's starting to really turn now. Like he's softening.
Uh,
He last time we watched, he got his GED, and Chris is really proud of him and wants to throw a party for him to celebrate. And of course, he does his whole, whatever, it's no big deal thing. But
yeah,
you could see in his face that he appreciates it, and he's like, he loves that like Chris is like proud of him, and I'm like, oh, so this is where I start to like Pete. I was like wondering how you were like reading it.
yeah. He's still being annoying now because like I don't know. He's still kind of shitting on. He's like with Melissa at the party. He's like, oh, so this is your kind of party, right? And he was like bored. She's like, well, what do you do at your parties? And he's like,
Drink.
beer and heavy metal. Like,
He's like, that sounds awful.
oh, right.
Um,
Yeah, he's
this
just being stupid.
It feels like the whole town is there, but I didn't see Maggie or Don, obviously for obvious reasons. Or Mickey,
Yeah, Maggie's not there. Mickey, a lot of people weren't in it.
but Marlena and Eugene were there.
Yeah.
So I don't remember if it's this year or if this happened in the past. But I feel like Eugene and Marlena are gonna pretend to be a couple.
Yeah, you told me that before.
And I don't remember if it's this or it happened already.
I'm
But
guessing it's gonna probably be after Roman dies, no?
no. I think what made me think of this is because they have to hide the fact that Roman is alive.
Uh,
And I think to give off
and
the
that makes
facade that
that
she's moving on, I think
right.
she and Eugene are gonna pretend to be a couple and get married or almost get married.
I was gonna say that makes sense if they because Roman's staying at the house to give her a reason to stay there.
Right.
So that would make sense.
Um, I got a kick out of Gwen's workout outfit.
I was I was liking Gwen and Eugene's chemistry. I was like, I wonder why they never paired them.
Probably because Calliope comes on, and that's just like the end of that.
Well, yeah, but she's not on yet, so you would think like they'd want somebody for him. And also, now we know why Gwen's with Alex because she wants money. Alex is buying her furs and stuff, and she's all. I'm like, I didn't realize she was like that. She's very much like Anna, but Anna's more Anna about it. Where Gwen is like, I don't know, I guess a little bit more sophisticated about it, I guess, but she's the same way
Yeah.
as Anna.
Anna just kind of stumbles into trouble,
Yeah,
and Gwen is
she
just
wants
more.
money
Yeah.
too. She. But I feel like
Um,
Anna does more work for it, where Gwen is just there, like sleeping with Alex and getting money.
well, Anna's also a lawyer, so she has her own money.
No, Gwen, you mean?
Gwen is also a lawyer. I mean, so she has her. So it's not
Right.
like she's like
Yeah,
poor.
right, but she wants more. She was like, "Who doesn't want more money?" I was like, "All right, Gwen, I see you, girl. I see you." I get it. I get it now. Because remember before, we're like, "Why is she with Alex?" What? Yeah,
I was laughing at her hot pink leg warmers that were balled up at her ankles. I was like, did people really walk around like this? Why?
they did. They did very much so. It's in every show. I remember it being a thing. I remember seeing it like in malls. It's very much a thing back then.
I was like, weren't your ankles hot? Like,
And I feel like it was only the 80s. Like once the 90s came, nobody worked out in that anymore. But it was like
no,
all
but I
through
also
the
feel like
80s.
in the early '90s, people were at least on TV. They still had the women wearing like I don't know what they're called, leotards
Yeah,
over like yoga shorts, I guess, or something, or bike shorts.
right.
You see it on Melrose Place with Rhonda's dance class. A lot of the women.
Yeah, I was actually thinking of that too.
So maybe like
Yep.
92, 93, that kind of faded away.
Yeah.
um, or like I always refer to this. I call that the '80s hangover. There's like little things that kind of didn't go away right away.
Right.
You see the
Fashion
hair start
stuff.
to shrink. It's still big, but it's shrinking slowly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um. So oh yeah. So she gets a Charlie horse, and
Yeah.
he has to like work it out. He's like, massaging it in her leg, and then she notices, I guess, that he cooked a lot of food, and she's like, "Are you expecting somebody for breakfast?" And he's like, "No, I had a premonition that you were coming." She's like, "You did?" He's like, "Well, I had a premonition somebody was coming, so I figured I'd just cook enough."
Right.
So she ends up staying for breakfast, and Marlena's like, "She's eating our food. I wish she didn't enjoy it so much." She's like, "I'm starving," because
I
Marlena and
like
Roman are in the basement.
I like when Gene found out that Roman's been there for a little bit, and he's like, oh, like he was like sad his premonitions didn't work, like to tell him.
Oh,
He's like he felt bad a certain way about it. He's like, oh, I don't know how I didn't know. Like my premonitions weren't working or something.
I laugh every time he refers to his first wife, Benita Jean. I'm like, what a name.
I know. I did. I wrote that down. Benita Jean. I was like, oh gosh, that's a terrible name. I call
Oh
her
no,
Bo Jean.
he still sees not premonitions, like illusions of Trista.
Hmm.
Which I guess they were able to get that actress back to do that.
Maybe contracts.
Back.
I think if they sign contracts, like if she signed a year and they killed her off after 6 months, she'd have to come back if they need her. So it might be one of those things, you know.
Oh. Or she could have just been available. I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. Whatever.
Yeah, sure.
I'm not doing anything. You need me on Wednesday? All right. I'll be there. I don't have
Right.
to say anything. I just have to look like a ghost.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what they're planning with that.
um. I guess we kind of opened with Anna, Alex, and Gwen being in Tony's office, which is
Yes.
totally different. And they're like, where is everything? And she's like, no, it was here. She's like, the computer was here and the desk was here. And she's like, it was completely different. And they're like, yeah, crazy. Because Delia had moved everything.
Yeah.
Um, doesn't Delia catch them in the room?
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's like proud of herself that she tricked them.
Yeah.
I feel like Delia just flies back and forth to
Right?
Toronto.
Toronto?
Is it Toronto that
Yeah.
she like every other day? I know it's a quick flight, but why can't you just talk on the phone? Like you go there for like a 5-minute conversation, and from what we're seeing, he doesn't say anything. He just smokes a cigarette.
Yeah. I know. It's so annoying. And like
He's just
Tony's
like,
sitting
yeah,
there
like we
talking to
want
him.
book, and they're like, you know, you're right. Honestly, yeah, you're right. We should do that. I'm like, you didn't say anything.
Right. Tony's sitting there talking to him. Delia's talking to him, and he's just not. He's just with a cig, and you're like, "What is happening?" Like, I would be like, "Speak to me, speak to me. What do you want?"
Unless he's like nodding or he's making faces, and we're just not seeing it. I don't know.
I would have been like, "I didn't fly all this way for you to sit there and not speak to me."
But we're getting like more and more breadcrumbs that this isn't Andre. Because he's when Andre goes to see him, he says the job's done. He's like, Roman's dead. He's like, I don't have to kill anybody. He's like, I'll just take my money and I'll go. And Stefano or Phoenix doesn't say anything. He just smokes. And he's like, but then he's kind of like, what do you mean? He's like, what else did they do? I did everything you wanted me to do. And I'm like, he's not saying anything.
Right. Playing chess, doing his own thing.
So him and Anna get intimate. And this is another little breadcrumb because Anna's like, oh, that was really different than how it used to be. Like, it was never like that. You used to like take your time and like, I guess be
Yeah.
a little more eager and rougher. I don't know. Like, I didn't hate it. It's different and like different.
Do you think Andre's fallen for her?
I was
I'm
thinking about
thinking,
that because he seemed to be all about her in bed anyway. Like he was like
and he said,
on her and like,
"Is he the one that said I love you, or did Anna?" I think he did.
yes.
So I
And like
think,
she was
I
kind of like,
think
oh,
he,
really? She's like, 'cause she hated me for a while.
yeah, I think he is actually falling for her.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that's going to be a thing.
I'm surprised Stefano, maybe he did, and then they went off track. I'm surprised Phoenix, we'll call him.
We'll call him.
Never said kill Anna because she's always up in their business. Delia wants to kill her. I think
Yeah,
she went over there to try and convince Phoenix to let her kill her. Like,
yeah. Delia would kill everybody, I think.
so it looks like they moved the lair or office into like a
Later.
closet across the hall.
Yeah.
And there's a computer screen, and it looks like there's an image about to be revealed because it's all pixelated and it's very slowly like I guess downloading. I was like, oh my god, this is worse than dial-up. Why is this taking so long?
All right.
I don't know what we're gonna reveal. Are we gonna see Stefano? Are we gonna see like what are we seeing?
Yeah. I don't know.
Um, and why is Delia? Why can't you just tell her what it is? Why does Delia have to like wait and stare at the screen?
Right.
But so we did see Tess, even though she didn't go to the party for Pete. She's hanging out
Yeah.
with shenanigans. And
What's up with her? What is she doing? She's up to shady shit.
you'll find out. It's shady, but it's not.
No.
It has to do with her past.
Uh,
Chris kind of calls her out that Pete told him that her plan is
no.
to like, move to Florida or California
California.
and take him with her.
Yep.
And she's like, so what do you care? And he's like, well, I do care because legally I'm responsible for him, so you can't do that.
Right.
She's like, he's my brother. He's like, it doesn't matter. And then he like basically I guess questions her too much for her liking.
Mm.
There was like, one of her famous what is their family? last name? I can't think of it. Whatever. One of the famous family fists that Pete used to throw, or still sometimes throws, and she like
Is
runs.
it Manning?
Pete Jennings.
Jennings.
Yeah.
I don't know where I got Manning from.
And even in that moment, as she was running out, Pete like kind of grabbed her and was like, "Hey, what's going on?" Like he was calm, and I was like, "Oh, this Pete's softening. He's like being concerned about other people."
Yeah, and even said like, then you go off on Marlena a little bit at the party, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry about Roman." Like,
It's it can't change. Rome wasn't built in a day. He can't change.
well, we know he's a puss by Christmas, so he changes pretty dramatically through the year.
And Hope is like hanging out at the bar because Eugene got a call from Bo to meet him at Shenanigans. So Hope is pretending like she's just hanging out there, but she's there to see Bo because she's pathetic.
Yeah, she is. Yes, but she's 18. Remember that teen angst.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
She actually ends up at another bar. Did you recognize the set?
No, I thought she was at another bar. I couldn't tell though.
So I feel like this set has been used for like a diner in older episodes that we watched from like 82, 83.
Okay.
Just the door and everything. I was like, that's the Cheating Heart. That's going to be the Cheating Heart in the 90s.
Oh, the cheating heart. I
Remember when we
remember
tried to
that.
make it like a coffee shop with Sunny and Chad in like 2012?
Yeah,
No, it's a bar. It's the Cheating Heart.
yeah. Yeah, it was a cheating heart for a long time because I think even Bonnie worked there when she came along in 2003 or two, whenever that was.
Yeah. Ugh,
I remember that.
that was around the time I started to stop watching.
Yeah, I liked it still.
I would
I
dip in
still
here
love
and there for like
it.
an episode, and I'd roll my eyes and then not watch for like another 5 months.
You're the worst. It was good.
I remember seeing like she turned Tuscany, that huge restaurant set, into they called it Alice's, and it was like a country bar restaurant, and it was just like a
Yeah.
I
I
remember
liked it.
like bartending in a wife beater, and I'm like, what happened?
Yeah, yeah,
That's when everybody, I guess, was still dead, so everything was changing.
yeah.
She was with Mickey. Anyway, back to 1984.
Back to 84.
Hope Bo shows up at this other bar to talk to Eugene, and he's drunk, I think, and he's basically lashing out at Hope, trying to get her to like hate him and move on.
Yeah,
And Larry shows up to protect her. I'm like, what?
yeah.
He's up to something.
Larry's, well, who, Larry, you think?
He called some newspaper reporter, and he told them to write basically a disparaging article about Hope, but not to print it, just to deliver it to her to make her think that it was printed. Do you remember that?
No, I don't.
It was one of the episodes ended like that. It was either the second or third episode.
Oh.
Yeah, he like met them on the docks, and he said, "I want you to write like basically a terrible article about Hope Williams." So I don't know what's going on there.
Yeah, it's a shame because he's always there for her and he's like a really good friend to her and like that's all she sees.
Yeah. So we're starting to see. I mean, he's always been a little
Yeah,
on the other
but
side.
not with Hope. He was never like shady with Hope yet. Like I always felt like he was actually like a good friend to her, and he's a good friend to Doug and Julie too.
Julie like thanked him for like looking out for Hope. And they're like approving of them possibly dating. And I'm like, why? He's like the same age as Doug.
And right, he might be a few years younger, but not too much.
When Hope was in her apartment and she was like having her weird dream fantasy about her and Bo dancing in that barn in like her ball gown.
What was that?
Her nightgown, I was like, I felt like Christian Alfonso was gonna like her boobs were gonna fall out of that. Like,
I know. I thought she was good. She was on that pier, and she's thinking of. I thought she was gonna like have flashbacks of maybe them together, but it was like a newly created fantasy, and I was like, why? Like I don't know. I didn't get that. Hmm?
You dipped out. I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, I dipped out.
Yeah, you were saying
Um,
here, and then like I didn't hear anything else after that.
it's really weird. There was like a newly created fantasy that she thought of, and I'm like, I thought she was gonna like think of a time when they were like together or something, but that was like fake.
That wasn't
Like,
new.
hmm?
That wasn't new. It was a fantasy, but it didn't happen. But it wasn't a new fantasy.
I was
Um,
gonna say it didn't happen though. Like
no,
it was weird.
there was like I don't remember what it was, but her and Melissa, I think, were in the barn, maybe at the Demare Mansion. It may have been around the time we were just watching clips of Bo and Hope.
Oh, okay.
Um, and it may have been like the party where Renee got killed, and they were like at
Mm.
Stables, and she had this fantasy about him. So it wasn't a new fantasy, but it didn't really happen. It was always a fantasy.
Yeah, it was still weird. I thought she would have a flashback of like them getting together, or kissing, or something.
Yeah, like the
Oh,
kissing booth or something, like something that actually happened.
and the big twist, they didn't sleep together. I didn't know that. I thought they did.
See, I was always like unclear about that because I thought maybe I knew this little detail, and that's why I was like, no, like I feel like maybe they didn't quite get there.
They didn't
Okay.
because that's what because she said to Bo, I wanted to make love to you. And I'm like, I thought they did. I was so confused. I was like, wait a minute. I thought they did. That was the whole reason Doug had the heart attack.
No, he had the heart
I
attack
guess
before he could get it
it
in.
was just heavy petting and making out.
It wasn't, there was a lot of that was a big drop. There were a lot of layers to get through to get in there.
Yeah, I'm like, I thought we were supposed to think they had sex. Like they what? I was confused.
Maybe they got pushback from like the network, like kind of like Brenda, like you have to say she's still a virgin or something,
Maybe.
so that when they actually get married, she's pure or something. I don't
Oh God. Because she had just turned 18 for her that's what I thought it made sense. But
know.
nope, no sexy time yet.
Yeah. So anyway, back to her apartment when she was like falling out of her nightgown. She like threw a fit and like started breaking things, like throwing things off the counter, like her coffee pot. I was like, why? I was like, why would you do that? I was like, that was a gift.
She was throwing a tantrum. She was very upset.
So then Melissa came and she's like, oh, it's cold in here, and she like made her put a robe on. I was like, why is it so cold? Do you not pay your heating bill? Like, I was like, you have all this money. Why is it cold in your apartment? um, and Hope's like, you don't understand, Melissa. You don't know what it's like to be in love. And Melissa has this like, right. I don't know what it's like. And I'm like, do you love Pete? Do you love Pete?
She probably don't even know if she loves Pete. Not at this
I don't know.
point.
I like low key root for Melissa and Pete. I don't know why.
I don't yet.
um. Oh, Alice confessed that she cooked the donuts that got Roman out of jail.
Yeah.
And Tom was like so betrayed he didn't come home last night. Which
He
should have
was so
been him
upset.
having the power in that situation because he was wrong, but somehow it became Alice being mad that he didn't come home. And she was like, I'll write up the divorce papers right now. Like I was like, wow.
he was he was so hurt because he's like, I don't even know who you are because like you always shared everything with me. Like I feel like she probably could have said something to Tom and he probably would have helped, but maybe she just was worried that he'd get in the way. I don't know. I don't know what she was thinking. But she didn't trust her husband and he was very hurt.
Maybe she just feels like Tom is so moral that he wouldn't have gone along with it, and she's a little more gray. I don't know.
Maybe she is. She don't like hooker ladies and she she helped a convicted killer.
Yeah, but they work it out, and he's just like, she's like, I promise I won't make donuts ever again. And they're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. They're like, don't get crazy. He's like, I'll just be
But
around next time you make them.
Well, yeah, because he was like, I'm not going to trust your donuts.
Yeah,
That was funny.
I
So they
love
kind of
that
made up.
that's like a through line that's like a thing she's known for is her donuts, and that's how she was murdered during the Salem Stalker storyline.
Right, right. That's why I always like that Death. I liked it because of that. She's linked to the donuts.
Yeah. We didn't see Abe.
No, no way.
I guess that was it, right?
The Baka.
Ugh, I blacked that out. The minute they start saying Baka again, I was like, oh, this freaking Baka. I don't care about this Baka.
I mean, I don't understand. They're like, they think that Tony has the Baka, and I don't even really quite understand why they need the Baka. They're like, this has something to do with the death being over. But like, what are you going to do when you get it? Like, hold it? Like, I don't understand what you need it for. What's it going to
I
do for you?
I don't know. This feels like a very 80s storyline because like even like later on, there's like I think that it's like crystals they have to get to cure some blood disease that
Oh,
Stefano
the
has. And
Prism.
I'm just like, what?
See that I'm very interested in that storyline because that's the Prism storyline, and I heard
Yeah, the
really
prism,
cool
right,
things
right.
about
That was linked to Beyond Salem.
it. Yeah,
Yeah. Hmm.
I'm all about that. But this I don't understand because this doesn't make sense. Because I'm like, what are you going to hold the vodka and it tells you who's the killer? Like, it doesn't make sense.
I don't know.
Because Gene had the vodka last, and then Tony supposedly stole it. They think they're not sure he stole it, and then I'm
When
like, why is nobody going to Tony's to try to find it then? Like, if that's what they need.
when Gene had the Baka, was that when he was having his vibes that he likes to call them? His visions.
Yeah,
So maybe it's a supernatural thing. Maybe Eugene
and
needs
then it went missing. It went missing because Tony stole it,
right.
or Andre, whoever.
And now the Baka's missing again.
Yeah.
Delia
Well,
probably.
Tony has it.
Oh, I was
Tony
gonna
has it.
say Delia probably took it.
No, they showed Tony with it in the next scene.
Oh,
Um,
it was something I wanted to note in the last episode. So Tony wants to go to I forgot somewhere in Europe with Anna, and he can't find
yeah,
his passport
yes.
that was in the safe because Delia took it. What Delia had it. Why would she start ripping out pages in it while he's in the house looking for it? Wait for him to be gone. Like he's literally in the next room, and he catches her. He's like, "What are you doing?" That was like,
I
what?
I thought that was weird too, and I'm like, that Delia is like too smart for that.
Yeah, it
I'm
was like
surprised
a
she did
plot
that.
device to get whatever they want done, but I was like, Delia's no.
So yeah, they want Bo to get the Baka back, but they don't know who has it. But I'm like, why aren't they just going trying to go to Tony's and looking around? Because that's
Right,
if that's your next step. Because what else are you trying to do?
right,
Because they're still trying to find the killer. I just don't know where it's going. I don't know how it's gonna get there. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
to how they find out who kills them, who killed the people.
Um,
I liked at the Lonely Hearts meeting that they played the song "Owner of a Lonely Heart." That
yeah,
cracked me up.
yeah, yeah. I did laugh at that
I'm like, that's pretty funny. And whether they play that song at every meeting, because that
too.
would be even more funny.
It's our theme song.
It's like this is our put our theme song on. Um, Danny's still around, and he is because you
Oh
said
yeah, yeah. I was like, oh Danny, look at you in March. I had no recollection of him making it out in 1983. Like,
and and Danny's still trying to get in everybody's business. He was still trying to get in Bo's business. He's like, what's going on?
I mean,
Like, I think
his
he
role.
suspects.
I feel like his role has definitely diminished. He's basically
Oh, totally.
recurring talk to, but like,
Yeah, because he was involved in all the Roman shit, and now he's not.
well, he was involved in getting Liz out of jail or trying to get her out of jail before she was shot. And he,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah, and then that was like it for him.
yeah. And I'm sure he had stories before that because he's a Grant, so he's like related to Valerie Grant. So like his family was important at some point in the early 80s.
Delia met up with those dudes on the pier. I didn't know what was happening with that.
I'm
Um,
surprised with Eli being on the show currently. Well, he's right now. I don't know. Is he on currently, or is he just like making guest appearances?
Who?
Eli.
Oh, now he's recurring, so
Uh,
he's just random.
uh,
He
I'm
comes on
surprised
for.
with him being on the show that
for
they never bring up Danny because he's related to Danny Grant.
yeah, they have not, as far as I've seen. I think Julie did once, like when he first came on.
I feel like they should bring like the Bannings back. Like Rick Hurst played Scotty, which I think is Eli's brother.
Hmm.
They should have. They've ignored that for decades, like that whole part of the family.
There's a lot of things happening. They have a lot of people.
Well, even
A lot
like
of people
Julie's
to write
brother
for.
coming back, who hasn't been on the show since the '70s. Like, there's a whole other part of the family that they never talk about.
Right.
Like Julie had a mother and like siblings. It wasn't just her and Hope. Like,
Yeah. So yeah,
um,
but we did say that Bo was kind of nasty to Hope. He kind of told her off, which sent her into that fit. She had gone to the pier at one point, ripped up the picture of them. And
I
I think
laughed in her
Larry
apartment.
came.
She has a picture of Bo on a motorcycle. I was like, that's such a random
Yeah,
photo to have framed.
it is. I thought the same thing. There was I forget. There was a line that cracked me up, and I forget who said it. Um,
Roman's
do you
like
know why?
a bum, and he has like dirt on his face or makeup, and it's get every time him and Marlena
Yeah,
out, it gets on her face.
yeah, and who saw them? Was it Julie and was it Doug and Julie that saw? Yeah,
Yeah,
Doug and Julie saw Marlena on the pier
they were like,
right
"You're
after she
out
was.
for everything she's going through right now."
Yeah,
um, I guess Carrie is still in Arizona. Is that where she is, or Colorado?
yeah. I guess indefinitely.
It's weird because I feel like Full House started in either '86 or '87, which is only 2 years. And I feel like the actress that plays Kimmy, that's now playing Carrie on Days in '84,
Right,
I feel like she's young, but I feel like she looks so much older than how she looks on Days right now to be
she
Kimmy in a
does.
couple of years. Like I feel like she goes from like an 8-year-old to like a 13-year-old in 2 years in real
Right.
life.
Oh, so there was a scene with was it Julie and somebody because they said that Alice saw Don and Marlena at the house at Eugene's, I think, and Gene was like, "Oh, that was me." He's like, "Maybe all tall people look the same," and and Julie says, "A munchkin might say that." It's like, what? That cracked me up. Oh, and the paparazzi attacked Marlena too.
Right. They were calling like Roman a killer, so she got all defensive. And people in the know were like yelling at her because she was the verbiage she used implied that Roman is still alive because she was
Yep.
like, he's not, or instead of he wasn't a killer, he's like, my husband is not a killer.
Yeah.
You're talking about me like
Oopsie.
I'm alive. You need to stop doing that. She's
She's
like, I'm
like, I
sorry.
won't do it again. I promise. Yeah, they caught her off guard. It
Did you
happens.
like the mushy Roman and Marlena scenes?
Yes, I loved it. But we already know Sammy and Eric are in there,
I
so
thought
I'm sure.
it
I'm sure they're all. She'll pass out soon,
yeah.
and they'll be like, "Oh, what's
I thought
going on
about
with
that. I guess
Marlena?"
they had just made love or they were laying in bed. I was like, oh yeah, she's definitely pregnant right now.
Yeah. Um, I think that's it.
Okay. It was like,
Yeah.
I guess this was like an average week. I guess we're done with sweeps and
I do. I like the drama that Alice and Tom are going through. I'm like, that's good. But I mean, it's kind of. I feel like they resolved it already within the 2 episodes.
yeah, it's
I guess they're like, it's Tom and Alice. You can't fuck with them. Too long.
Right.
People would be mad. Oh, I
I
like
find it so
Diane
funny that she
complimented.
immediately leaped to like divorce, and I was like, Alice.
Yeah, Diane complimented Bo's bod when he was getting changed.
Oh, that's what I wanted to mention. So he came home drunk, and she was like sleeping on the floor.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Get in the bed, like you're the guest or whatever. And she's like, well, where are you gonna sleep? She's like, on the floor. I thought they were gonna be like, well, we've known each other all our lives, we're friends, like we're adults, like, and they were just both gonna sleep in bed, which would lead
Mm.
Hope just like lets herself in everywhere. To Hope like coming in and seeing them in bed, and that would be a thing. And she's
No, I guess because they're done.
yeah, well, I mean, Hope not really accepting that.
Well, she
She
is.
said she
She
is, but then
hates.
she comes back for more. Like,
Yeah, but she said she hates him now. She's like, I hate you, and I think
I
she
don't,
does.
I don't know. I don't trust it.
No, I think she's over it. But we'll see. Because remember, I think didn't she have Larry, and it looks like she was getting flirty with Larry when Bo was at the bar.
I blocked that out.
So
I don't want to think about her being flirty with Larry.
she's using Larry,
And in some ways,
which I'm
he's
sure
using
Larry's.
her. They're using each
Oh,
other.
for sure, for sure. Oh, I like when they were getting ready for Pete's party and Roman popped Pete's balloon. That cracked me up too. He's like,
Listening to Chris talk, he has like a very like southern draw,
yeah.
and because he ends up being Roman years like decades later, I'm just like just seeing Roman talk to Pete. I'm just like he's
I
like,
know
is that?
it's jarring for me too because I've been watching him as Roman since '97, and I guess he's my Roman because I didn't know
Yeah.
the other two
Yeah, I didn't
I
know.
didn't know.
I only knew that there was another Roman because my grandmother told me. Like he's always been Roman to me.
Right. So he's always been Roman, and then when I just started watching, the past stuff, it's jarring because I'm still watching, and he's still Roman
Yeah.
on days, so it's hard to get out of that. And he's very similar to Roman in a way. A good stand-up dude.
Yeah, I feel like he's a little calmer than Roman.
Yeah.
Um, we also saw Sandy, and I'm like, girl, your days are numbered.
Yep. Sandy was the one, and I thought the same thing.
Because I'm
Like, is it
pretty.
March yet?
Yeah, we're on March 1st.
Yeah,
I'm actually on the website right now. I could see when she leaves. Um,
it's soon.
oh, April 11th.
Oh, is it April? Okay,
Yeah. So she's got another month.
we got some time.
I can't wait till we get to the end of April because Don Diamant's gonna come.
Oh God.
What do you mean, oh God?
Well, I already know how it ends for him. Bye, Christmas time. Been a nice run. Well, that'll be good though, because then Liz and Neil will be on, because we know he's a part of their storyline. So,
Yeah, and I would think that when he comes on, I think she has her memory back. So in the next month or so, she's getting it.
All right.
I thought she got it back in January. I thought like I don't know, it was gonna be like midnight on New Year's, and she was gonna get her memory back or something.
Wake up, New Year, old her.
Or Christmas. I don't remember. I honestly thought by 84 she would have her memory back, and here we are, and she still can't remember shit. Like,
It's kind of funny. I feel like they did the same thing with Abe because he didn't get his memory back till a little bit in, like, I think March of last year. So it's kind
oh,
of
even
funny
after
because
he
they
was
did,
like kidnapped.
huh?
Even after he was like kidnapped.
Yeah, he didn't get it back. He didn't get it back for Christmas. He didn't get back till Paulina was going through like a cancer thing. She was in the hospital,
Oh,
and that's when he got it back. Lexi came to them and all of this stuff. It was really cool.
it
If
was
you
a,
watched, you would know.
it, obviously it wasn't Renee Jones. It was a fake Lexi.
It was Lexi,
It was Renee Jones.
maybe.
No, it wasn't.
You'll never know.
I
You'll
know it
never
wasn't.
know.
That would have blew up on social media. It was not Renee Jones.
You'll never know.
Well, Renee Jones from right here lives in Atlanta, so let's get her on Beyond the Gates.
And she comes out of retirement.
Yeah.
I don't know why she retired, but she did. She's
I
still
don't know.
young.
I feel like she felt, I mean, I don't know, this is all alleged. I feel like she just felt like disrespected. And like they weren't using her and writing for her, and
Yeah, but you wouldn't retire. You would just
she was
be like, I'm
young.
leaving the show.
She was young.
But
She
she
was only
said,
in her 50s when she retired.
right, that's what I'm saying. Like, you wouldn't retire. You would be like, oh, I'm just leaving the show because I'm done.
Yeah.
They said that she said she retired. Like, so it would be great if she comes back to Beyond the Gates. I would love to see her again. She's only like 60 by now,
Yeah.
ish. But
She could be
it's
like,
fabulous.
she could be Anita's sister.
I'm hoping for so many people to come to Beyond the Gates. I'm like, I
But
feel like this will be the kind of show that can do that.
I
I feel like that's the kind of show that can have different guest appearances. I think it would be fun,
yeah.
just like Sunset Beach.
Yeah. All right. Well, so that was 4 episodes from this week that we discussed. We're gonna head on over to Patreon to watch the Friday episode. Hopefully, we get a nice cliffhanger. I'm excited
Hmm.
because what if we don't?
I don't. Maybe Stefano will
Maybe
be the
we'll finally
cliffhanger,
see what's downloading on the computer screen.
or Phoenix will turn around in his chair.
I don't know. Don't hold your breath.
He doesn't come back till later.
But yeah, so if you'd like to watch that with us, head on over to our Patreon and subscribe for just $3. You can watch any daytime episode that we watch over there.
We have a lot of daytime episodes over there. A lot.
And as always, you can find us on all the other socials at Queers and Soaps. And until next time, have a great day. Bye.
Bye.